Hello. Yes, I'm back again. Yes, it's me. A bit of an update. I've had a little bit of a sniffle. Don't know why that is. I'm guessing the weather has not been that good. Anyway, so hope everybody's well. So today, on social media and in actually the mainstream news, this has been popping up a bit. And as you can see here, Welsh Government vows to change beliefs and behaviour of the white majority. Now, at that point I thought to myself, well, what have I done wrong? Because as it goes on it says Labour's and it says ant here. I think it should say anti-racist, but anti-racist action plan aims to build an all-inclusive society. Right, well, it's a good aim, but it also says a white majority, so I thought to myself, well, wait on, I didn't know I was a racist. In addition to that, I'm an individual out of many white people. And is it just Wales? So I then thought to myself, well, I don't really get this, because there is something always ironical when people say things like this, because when we say the white majority, that means all white males and females. So essentially, the First Minister is calling herself, or implying it, that she's racist and needs to change. Well, I'm all for a bit of change. And in some respects, I thought to myself, well, what have I done wrong? And I thought, well, I don't know. And I thought to myself, well, this is like being in one of those relationships where your partner says, yeah, oh, don't do that again. You go, what? And you go, well, you know what you've done. And you say, I don't, you're going to have to tell me, no, just don't do it again. It's a bit like that for me at this moment in time, when I started looking at this. And I thought, right, okay. Now then, so at that point, I then started searching the documents, and as you can see, I pulled this document up here, and it's 174 pages. And as you can see, race equality, anti-racist Wales. Right, so now we've got anti-racist, not just ant-racist. So that sort of says that everybody in Wales is racist. So I'm still thinking, well, who's it aimed at? Is it me? What have I done wrong? Do I have to go to some sort of education camp? Because that's the only way you're going to sort of change beliefs or behaviours, which is what's been stated by the Welsh Government. Not me, not anybody else. So I then said, well, okay, who have they asked? So there's a population of 3.1 million in Wales, and it turns out they decided to ask, let's have a look here, 52 people. However, they did ask 57 third sector organisations and networks. So the third sector, don't forget, is charities and everybody else. Now they also ask a lot of public sectors, health authorities, blah blah blah, it goes on. But given that we're the ones who pay for all of this, they only asked 52 of us. So already I'd say this isn't off to a good start. So so at that point, I then I explored the document. Because once I then think about, well, who've they asked, 52 people, and then thought, well, what's the evidence then? Because, you know, if you're saying that we need to be anti-racist, you must have evidence for that. And the evidence was really, it was anecdotal in stories, people saying this, this, this. And it went on, there weren't really any sort of metrics in there to measure. And that becomes more important later on, because when you're saying we're going to do something, you have to have a baseline and then you're going to work towards it. Or vice versa, it doesn't really matter which, but you have to know what you're dealing with. And all really what we had in here was sort of stories. Now, let me make my position clear about racism. There's no point in being racist, it doesn't really help anybody. All I'd say is just be nice, listen, have a chat and just get along. That's it. Just be nice to folk, it's as simple as that. That's what I've tried to do in my life. But every now and again you fall out with folk, but that's how it is. Anyway, back to this. So I read it all, and what I did come up with is this instance here. And as you can read it there, it basically says a lot of people think ethnic minorities are treated fairly by the healthcare service. Well, I won't see why they wouldn't. And then it also goes to say, participants in this community's organisation, now again, don't say which community, but in summary, they were very disappointed with trying to get a timely appointment. They got misdiagnosed, had to have several treatments again, and one participant here had a do not resuscitate note, DNR, attached to their medical records. Now, what that person's describing is normal in the NHS. It's not about being racist, that's just the standard of service you're going to get. I still can't get a dentist. So, so all I'll say is welcome to the NHS. What that person's describing is normal. So it's nothing new. Anyway, so then I went through the documentation and I came across this: action, not words. Again, what I'm saying, if you want action, you're going to have to, not words, you're going to have to give an action plan. So we need a good action plan, and it says here by 2030. I've looked at this document, there's not really an action plan there because there's no evidence base to work from. There's no goals to aim for, which are always nice. Then I came across this documentation. Now remember, the question I was thinking to myself is, does it apply to me? Well, I have to go to a re-education camp. Because how long would it take? 6 weeks? 6 months? Because I don't think I'd be a willing participant in all that sort of malarkey, to be honest. Anyway, I then found out some good news from my personal point of view, and anybody else. Bad news for those if you work in the government though. Right, so it says here, where you can see the green highlights starting. Following the consultation, we had ensured that this plan isn't just for the Welsh Government. It is for all public services and other sectors, wherever we can influence them. Well, to be honest, you can, because you give them our money. So if they don't do it, just don't give them the money. Now, what I find interesting about this is I go back to this first headline here. Vows to change beliefs and behaviour of the white majority. Now then, I now know the white majority, the mean of this lot here. So if you're working in the Welsh Government or public service and other sectors, accordingly, the Welsh, whoever started this plan, is basically saying that you've got some sort of racial intent about you. Now, I genuinely don't think people start off with that point of view. So if I was there and I was a union person and I saw this, I'd be knocking on someone's door and I'd just say, this ain't on. Because what you're doing is you're tiring everybody with this racist thing. And where's your evidence for it? That's what I'd be saying. However, the good news is it don't mean I have to go away or pack a bag, so I'm quite happy about that. So then as I go looking through it, I then see this term, white privilege. Now, I'll be honest, I've come across this before. And it's sort of a term where you can't really get your claws into it. It's very slippy. So you have to think, well, what does it mean? Now, something I hadn't encountered before is this bit where it says being an ally or an accomplice. Now, at its best, that's identity politics. Now, you're either one or the other, which I find really quite interesting, because it's group identity at its best. But it's like saying to me as a white person, I'm either for it or against it. Now, as a white person, I cannot change the colour of my skin. It's impossible for me to do that. It's like my characteristic. But what you're saying is, we're thinking that you're either for it or against it. Well, actually, what happens if I just accept it? Accept that I don't have any white privilege. Because I genuinely don't feel as if I have. And I'll give you a good example. I went for a job. Right, I got told because I was white they wanted ethnic minorities, that job, I couldn't have that job. Right, okay. So I wasn't best pleased, but I just thought, fair enough, move on. And I suppose I was then thinking about this, and I thought to myself, so white privilege. So I don't think I've had mine yet, so do I need to apply for it or something else? I'm not sure. And I suppose I was then thinking about some lads I know, and they have a you know, the white, because that's me, some of my mates. I do have some black people friends as well. And one of them got slammed off his motorbike on a car. So, did he have white privilege when he was there coming out in a wheelchair? No, he didn't, did he? He just had an accident and that was it. So he wasn't white privilege at that stage. It was just a person who was very, very unlucky. So as I say, I could go on about that, but I'm not going to because people get bored. Right. Excuse me, yeah, cold coming on here. And then I looked at this evidence. And as you can see, they have a race disparity evidence unit. And it says it there again. Now then, my problem with that is there's no evidence. I've looked through it and they haven't given evidence. Evidence is something factual, something we can get our teeth into, something we can measure. And it isn't there. So I don't know how they're going to start off with this. So as for being a good plan for 2030, I don't know if you'll actually reach that. But as I say, I'm all for just being nice and treating people fairly. That's as simple as that. That's how I work. But I genuinely don't think this statement here, Welsh Government vows to change beliefs and behaviour of the white majority, and then followed by anti-racist Wales, and then again action not where anti-racist Wales. It implies that everybody in Wales is racist, and I seriously don't think that's helpful. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm guessing you might have learned something. If not, well, hope you're having a good day, and catch you on the other side. Tick subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you.